today is the day. Today you're going to take all the brainstorming that you have been doing and you are going to put it into a rough draft. Now, after you watch this, you need to watch the video about rough drafts because it is extremely important that you do that. It's been a while. I know you know what a rough draft is, but sometimes we need a reminder, okay, of what a rough draft is. Plus, the teacher that's talking about it has some really great insight of things that maybe I'd forget to tell you. So, good teachers work together to teach a child. So, I'm using a friend, this lady who I've never met, because I like her information. So today your job is to write or type your rough draft. I don't care if you write it down on a piece of paper or a notebook. I don't care if you type it however you want. But friends, it's a rough draft. This does not mean after today you are done. You are not turning anything into me. Good heavens, no. We are going to be working on this piece every day for I think the next 4 or 5 days. I think I have lessons prepared for you. So do not jump the gun and think, oh, I wrote it, I'm done, moving on. Because I don't believe in that. I make you evaluate and rewrite and revise and that kind of thing. So without further ado, I'm going to share with you my rough draft. Is it perfect? Heck no. But it's a good place to start. So here we go. Lake Powell mishap. I like it. I didn't just say, I stabbed myself in Lake Powell. Grandmas are the best, and my kids would agree. They came to me wanting me to open a set of giant water guns that Grandma had brought for them to play with at the lake. The water guns were secure with a not one, but two plastic zip ties around both ends of the squirt guns. There was going to be no way I was going to be able to pull these guns apart without something sharp. I headed into the coolness of the houseboat to look for a pair of scissors. I quickly found the scissors. Try as I might, I could not get the scissors under the zip ties to cut them apart. It didn't matter how I held the guns or the scissors. The plastic would not be cut. I put the scissors back into the drawer and turned towards the sink. There, just to the right, was a small drawer with Uncle Don's fish knives, the sharpest knives on the boat. If these didn't cut the plastic, nothing would. I held the knife down against the plastic with the blade facing away from me. I held tight to both the blade and the guns. Suddenly, a sharp pain went through my hand. I dropped the guns, put down the knife, and grabbed my hand. Ouch! My sister started to laugh. I showed her my hand. I was bleeding from a cut in my thumb. Kylie grabbed a paper towel and pushed it against my thumb. There was still blood flowing all over the place. Where was it coming from? That was when we noticed there was a second cut on the back of my thumb. Dumbfounded, I realized that not only had the knife stabbed but it had in fact gone all the way through my thumb. Oh, the pain! We placed my thumb under cold water to slow the bleeding. Didn't work. We held the paper towel tightly over the wound. The bleeding wouldn't slow down. My sister thought I would need stitches. I felt like I had swallowed a rock. This was the last thing I wanted. I wanted to do anything to avoid stitches again while in Lake Powell. We called Krista over to take a look at it. Krista was a nurse, so I knew she would know what needed to be done. First, she took a fresh water bottle and stabbed a small hole through its lid. Then, while standing on the end of the houseboat, she squirted the cold water directly into my cut. The water shot into and through the cut in my finger. After the wound was deemed clean, she wrapped it tightly in gauze and tape. 3 hours later, we took the bandage off to see how it looked. Blood oozed from my cut without any hesitation. I would need stitches to help the bleeding stop. Ah! I was mad at myself. I hated that I had to call PJ and tell him I would need stitches. I hated that I would have to pay hundreds of dollars to visit a clinic far from my normal doctor. I hated that I had been careless and got hurt in the first place. There is nothing like telling a ranger that you need a doctor because you had a stab wound. I am sure they imagined something much worse because when they met us at the clinic, there were 5 rangers waiting for us. After realizing we weren't there to cause trouble, they didn't need the police. It was time for stitches. The doctor re-cleaned the still gushing wound, then placed a sharp needle full of numbing medicine into my cut. The pain was horrible. Finally, my thumb was numb. Not numb as in I couldn't feel anything, but numb enough that I wouldn't feel the hook-shaped needle entering and exceeding my skin. 3 stitches and much throbbing later, I was done. There you go, rough draft. I hope you notice there's some mistakes because I did. And there's some parts that I didn't really like that are going to need some work. Gushing wound, really liked that word. I thought that was way better than just saying my bleeding thumb. So I have some good words in here, some vivid verbs. I have some trash words that need to be taken care of, and I have a few other things. But guess what? It's a rough draft, so it doesn't have to be perfect. So now it is your turn. Go and write your story of how you got hurt.